All right, we are live. So, hello everybody. Welcome to the Connected Conversations. And today I am honored and super excited to welcome my friend Lara. You're here on the side. Lara Franks, who is a holistic life coach, and she has got some inspiring story of her life, how she found herself in a new situation, kind of feeling stuck, but actually it was a blessing, and she found herself and her path, and that's what she's kind of creating now. So thank you so much, Lara, for joining us. And tell us, who are you? What's your story?
Well, thanks for having me, Martina. And just before I get started, I want to mention it's early in the morning here, and there is a truck that's just about to go past my window.
Oh, perfect.
To clean the streets, so it might suddenly sound very loud. So I do apologize for that.
It's okay.
All right.
It's so perfect.
All right. Couldn't have timed it better. Okay. I'm Lara. Yes. Thank you for the introduction. I'm a holistic life coach based in Auckland, New Zealand. But I haven't always been a life coach. But I have always been in training, development, kind of leadership, helping other people, serving other people, those types of roles, which I guess have always come quite naturally to me. I love being around people and just lifting others up and growing within themselves. And I just love being part of that journey. My story, though, I guess, how far do we want to go back?
How far do you want to go back?
Okay, let's start from, well, I'll do a little bit of a backstory that leads to how we met each other. Sounds, I guess.
Good. Yes, I was thinking about it. I want to kind of share how we met, how is it all happening. I will have a poster with you. Cheers.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, I've always been in kind of training development type roles, facing people, communicating, good high energy levels. So that brings me to kind of my first real job, which was in fitness, health and fitness. So, I studied when I was much younger than I am now to be in the fitness industry. I did nutrition, I did sports science, all that kind of stuff. And it was great. I was really into it at that time. I worked in gyms in New Zealand. I, hosted group fitness classes and things like that. And when I moved to the UK, I'm from the UK originally, FYI, but grew up in New Zealand. But when I moved back to the UK, I continued with that. I worked in a fitness club and spa within a hotel in Edinburgh. And then when I moved to Cambridge in England, where I met Martina, I worked at the Little Gym, which was developmental gymnastics for children. So kind of, going down this path of fitness and well-being and health for all ages, really. I loved my time there, and I loved my time in the UK very, very much. It's a huge, huge part of my experience, of my life. I still have family there. Sorry, the truck is going past again.
So perfect. That's what it is.
Yeah. And, I was in the UK for 5 years. And then when I moved back home to New Zealand, I really wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do at that point, to be honest. But I knew that I loved to travel because I just spent, 5 years overseas and traveling in Europe, and it had become a massive, massive part of my life. So when I moved back to New Zealand and in my local area where I live, I saw that there was a job going for a travel agency. I'm like, okay, this could work. So I applied for that job and got the job. So I worked as a travel agent and then kind of moved through the company. Like I said before, I was always kind of into helping other people. I guess in travel you are actually, aren't you? You're helping them build their dream holiday, which I loved. And I got to talk about travel all day long, which was fantastic. But I kind of still had that yearning for really helping people develop. So I actually moved on up not moved on up. There's no superior, inferior level there, but I moved into a different role within the company, and that was as the trainer for all of the new people coming into the company there. So I would run 4-week courses, 4-week training programs, which was amazing. It was so great to be kind of that first point of contact in their journey for their travel career. So I really enjoyed that experience. And actually, when I look back, that time in that role really kind of set me up for where I am today. You know, all of the lessons I learned in there, all of the highs, all of the lows. You know, we also did content creation. We also, you know, had to do a lot of research and rejigging the lesson plans and keeping up to date. So, you know, I learned a lot about how to construct lessons and workshops and, you know, e-learning and things like that in that role. So that, when I look back, was really crucial to my personal development. Then what happened there? So I also worked in wholesale. So basically I was in the travel industry and the corporate world for about 5 years. And there was always kind of, as much as I loved it, I loved the benefits, I loved my colleagues, I don't know, I guess I didn't really get to use my creative talents and things that gave me authentic joy. So I always felt like something was missing, but I just wasn't quite sure what it was. And I had my own hobbies that I did outside of work. You know, I wrote music, or, you know, I went on nature walks or whatever. So I still, you know, was doing things that made me really, really happy. But you spend a lot of time at work, you know?
Yeah.
So I did really start to feel disconnected and lost and out of alignment. And I just couldn't figure out why. So, well, I mean, I guess one of the reasons why was that I just wasn't being as creative as I wanted to be, or being able to put my voice or stamp on things, my ideas. You know, in the corporate world, there's only so much that is listened to and understood and that you can personally implement. So I guess I felt a little bit detached in that sense. And so in 2019, I thought, okay, I got to do something about this. I got to have an outlet. So I actually started my own side hustle. And I was making all organic, natural wellness and beauty products. And I grew up in a family where my mother was very much into aromatherapy. She was a masseuse in her younger days. She was a makeup artist. You know, she's very, very creative. She's an artist as well. So we always grew up with natural home remedies and aromatherapy and things like that. So I started playing around. You know, I was making my own roll-on essential oils or bath scrubs or bath salts, and I decided to just turn it into something. And it felt great to be doing that, right? I had no idea what I was doing in terms of business, right? I just bluffed my way through that. Google gives you the answer to everything. You know, Google was my best friend. I joined a lot of networking groups and, you know, went to a lot of like connected events and things like that. And I just kind of just played around and built it up in the background without any pressure on myself, because it was a side hustle. You know, I can sometimes get in the loop of putting too much pressure on myself, perfectionism tendencies. But really, I just let this be an adventure. And it was fun. It was great. You know, at the end of the day, I could come home and I could do that and you know, connect with people on social media and talk about my products. And yeah, it was fun. But that, I guess, it was only a mask as well. You know, like it only masked what was actually happening underneath, and I still felt lost. It was a great distraction. But it would always come back up, you know, until you address those types of issues or things that are feeling like they're holding you back, or just, you know, I think, you know, if you're not truly fulfilled, you know it.
You know it.
Yeah.
You know it. We know it. We don't always know what to do with it. As you said, you didn't quite know what it was, but you knew something is off. We know it. Whether we want to look at the mirror and just see it or not, that's another conversation. But we can feel it in our body. We can feel it how much stiffer we are, and suddenly the stomach problems comes in.
I'm glad you said that, because it really is in your body. It's an inner knowing. And inner knowing means that you're feeling it within.
Yeah.
It's not a thought. It's not thinking in the head. It's feeling in the body. And that is a practice in itself. You know, we're not all, we're all in different ends of the scale, right? Some people are more intuitive, do go with their gut more than with their head. I just so happen to be one of those people that do often really listen to my body. But this one, I was, you know, purposely putting it to the side. I'm like, no. Like, I'm not ready yet. Like, I've been in this industry for 5 years. I don't want to leap yet. I don't want to leap. So I was aware of it and I was throwing it to the side.
So can I jump in this moment? Because I think this is a specific moment that people can really relate to. How was that impacting your life? Actually, you knew it. You were very successfully distracting yourself with other business, hustle.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it. I know for me it's work. If I don't want to feel, I will create so much business in my life. Totally. And then suddenly I'm like, why am I so busy? Why am I so busy? And I'm like, what is it that I don't want to feel? And then suddenly I feel it in my stomach and my neck. And it's like, oh my, what's going on in here? And then I stop. Then I take my time. And then I'm surprised what's there. So how did it impact you, really?
Yeah. And I love how you just said, you know, you keep yourself busy, because that was part of it for me, wasn't it, really? You know, creating the side hustle. Yeah, it was because I wanted to be more creative and adventurous and have something else. But really, I was just trying to keep myself busy. I was just trying to quiet that voice in my head. So I completely hear you there. Yeah, the feeling for me was constricted. Like I almost couldn't breathe sometimes. There was a level of anxiety and depression there, probably. And it was just a feeling of coming home at the end of the day and complaining, you know, playing the victim when I really was making that choice. But, you know, coming home and just being like, there's got to be more to life than this. Like, those words left my mouth so often. It affected my relationship because I was in a low vibration often. And when I was in a high vibration was when I was doing my side hustle and I was getting to be creative and I was making these beautiful products and I was around these essential oils, which were probably making me feel super positive.
Maybe extra charge.
Yeah, right. But also my partner at the time didn't understand my side hustle, and that got in the way. So that became a problem in our relationship. When I wanted to spend time doing that. So there was all of these things and it was just kind of building up and just, you know, mounting up to more unhappiness. And so back to the feeling, it was very constricting. I felt stuck. I felt like, you know, I just wanted to be a bird. I just wanted to spread my wings and fly away. And then what came from that, I guess, leading on to the next part of the story, was that I was getting towards the end of 2019 and I was like, do you know what? My relationship's not working. I know deep down that's going to have to end at some point. And it was, you know, it was inevitable. It was coming to an end. But not just that. I was thinking so hard in my head, I have to make a change everywhere. And also, Martina, I'll let you know this. Whenever I make a change, I change everything, right? I've probably
cut your hair.
I've learned a lot, though. Like, I've learned a lot from being a coach, and I've learned a lot about myself and self-awareness. And, you know, I probably wouldn't be so hasty now, right? Because I know how to actually properly evaluate a situation and set goals and that kind of thing. So I probably wouldn't be so chaotic and hasty these days. But back then, if I was changing something, I was changing everything. I was ending my relationship. I was moving house. I was, you know, getting a new job. I was changing everything. So coming towards the end of 2019, I was like, okay, I got to change my job. I got to do something. Do I go full time in Moonwake Organics, which was my side hustle? Do I take the leap, knowing that I would not be making a full-time living because it wasn't, you know, I wasn't making $1 million on that. But it's not all about money, although you do have to think about your livelihood. Do I take that leap? Do I go full time, or do I just find another job? Yeah. And then a colleague actually came to me because we would go for walks every morning. My beautiful colleague, I love her. She was like my little counselor, my little life coach. We'd go for our morning walks, and she knew I was unhappy. So she actually approached me one day at work and said, "Hey, I just seen this job posted on this other travel network. I think you would be perfect for it. You should apply." And it was a travel company that I highly, highly respected. They are a sustainable travel company. I just love their values. I really, really aligned with their message and their people. And I had worked with their people before in other collaborations and things like that in the travel industry. So I was like, yeah, this sounds great. And it was a step up for me. And in that career, if I was to get this job, I'd be moving into being a business development manager. It was a leadership role. Mm-hmm. And it was still in training and development as well, because I would be talking about our product. I'd be training new people on the product. I'd be doing presentations. I'd be able to use my acting skills. That's something I didn't mention. I did way many moons ago. I'd be able to do expos and I'd travel more, and yeah, it just sounded amazing. So I went through the interview process, which was a really hard interview process, by the way, and I had to do a proper presentation on some training. Anyway, I thought I botched it. I was like, I messed that up completely. You know that feeling when you go
I know that feeling, yes.
And you come home and you're like, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that.
Yes.
Oh, I was just like over-analyzing everything.
Yes. Analysis paralysis, yes.
Right. I was like, there is no way they are calling me back. But they did. I don't know. They did. And I connected with them as human beings as well, right? And they called me back and I was like, awesome, amazing. This is my new chapter. Fantastic. I feel great. I'm so excited. And that feeling when you've been somewhere for a really long time, because I was in my previous company for 5 years. So I was like, I'm just so ready. I'm so ready to move on. And it was coming into a new year. I got accepted for this job in December 2019. So it was coming into a new year. I was so excited. And started the new role in January 2020. And it was great. It was exciting. I was moving around a lot. I was traveling around New Zealand with one of the senior business development managers, just showing me the ropes and things like that. And we had a great time. We had such a laugh. But still, oh my God, Martina, still I had this voice. Still I had this voice in the back of my head telling me, no.
That's not it.
It's not it. It's not it, Lara. Go and have some fun, sure, but this isn't it. Oh my God, that annoyed me so much. I didn't have those icky feelings that I had prior, because I did make some really positive changes, and I was surrounded by new people and stuff. So I was feeling a lot better, but I still had that voice, which was very annoying. And then turns out the universe did have other plans for me after all, because very, very sadly, although worked, I guess when I look back, I'm grateful for and worked in my favor, but COVID-19 happened, and the travel industry was the first industry to really be hit hard. No one's traveling. Everyone's canceling their plans. And I was the last in this new job. I knew it was coming. I knew that I would be let go. So many people were being let go. I was not expecting to be saved in this particular job, since I was the last in. So I knew it was coming, but it was still a shock, especially how rapidly everything moved. It's like 1 minute people are traveling and having a good time. Yeah. Literally the next minute, the world is in chaos and in shock. So that happened. My role ended, and I remember it so clearly, Martina, because it was a beautiful sunny day. And we had gone on a conference call with the whole of the company, and this travel company that I work for, they were actually based in Melbourne, so their headquarters were there. So we were all on this big conference call. And they had said to us, people are going to be getting phone calls today. And it was sad. It was really emotional. Like the CEO was teary, it was sad. So they said, be by your phones. People are going to get calls today. I'm like, I'm getting called straight away. I know this. So I decided to go for a walk, get outside in nature. I didn't want to be at home, I just wanted to get outside. It was a beautiful day. So I went and sat down by the beach, stared out at the ocean, and my phone rang. And sorry. And it was not my manager, but the manager of the manager. Anyway, I got a phone call, and she explained the whole situation to me, and she said, I'm really sorry, we're going to have to let you go. Are you okay? Do you need any help? Do you need any support? They were lovely. They were so kind and compassionate. And do you know what? I was actually fine.
So you knew it. There was the relief, right, within you, I would imagine, that finally it's kind of decided.
Yeah, and I don't want to put the other people's emotions down, because everybody's allowed to feel how they felt. And I'm sure for so many people, I'm sure it was extremely tough and heartbreaking. And I can appreciate that completely. And it was still a shock, but there was, like you said, there was this relief. I suddenly was like, do you know what? It's been leading to this point for me for a long time. It's like a breakup. I was saying, my relationship had ended, but when you're in a relationship and you just know for a really, really long time that you're not supposed to be in that relationship, and you just stay because it's comfortable. It was the same situation. So it was a relief, and I was kind of like, like letting that breath out. Okay, cool. I have to accept this. I can't control this. This is outside of my control. How can I make this situation work for me? Try and look at it optimistically. I was in a good position. I had moved actually back to a flat off the side of my family home when my relationship ended. So I had a roof over my head, which was the most important thing, and support of my family. And it was soon after that, like maybe a week or two after that, that New Zealand actually went into its first lockdown. So, and luckily for us, it didn't actually last a huge amount. I think it was a couple of months. It was still hard. Gosh, it was still tough. Although I know a lot of people around the world had it really a lot longer than that. But that was actually quite an incredible experience for me, because everything ended. Like I said, I do everything at once. Relationship ended, moved house, job ended. I had to give my car back because it came with the job, so I had no vehicle. Everything changed. But then I was in lockdown, and I was in my own thoughts, and I was by myself. And for once in a long, long time, I was able to hear myself.
Oh gosh, I got chills. I so resonate with you.
I was able to really hear myself and sink in and just be. Stop doing. Stop clouding and keeping busy, and keeping my mind busy. Just be. And in that time of just being, also, get back into music and, go on more walks or do some yoga or do some meditation, like just things that really made me feel so good, because for ages I had felt, so I just needed to feel good again. And I had that time. I was so grateful for that time. And that's, like I said, an optimistic outlook. And that's not to say I wasn't challenging. It definitely was challenging. And from doing your own inner work, it's very confronting and not comfortable. And there were a lot of things, a lot of ghosts that I had to face and a lot of shadows. But had I not actually had that time, I don't know if I would have done that,
Yeah.
So or not in the same way anyway. So when I look back, I'm like, that was just so what I needed. And it was through that process where I decided, obviously I needed to figure out what I was going to do with my life. I needed to get back on the saddle at some point and make some money and change my career path. It was a big shift, a big pivot. And it was through that time of self-discovery that I came across life coaching. Gosh, I feel like my story has been like super long. I'm sorry.
It's good, but there are opportunities. I love that.
Yeah, right.
I think there are lots of moments that people can relate to. Because sometimes we just go into the self-beat up, right? Just like, it's this, and what am I thinking? Why? And this whole, the saying, they say you should be satisfied, right? You should be satisfied with what you have and where you are and all of these. So just for those people who listens to this, like, no, you should not be satisfied. Yes, you should, but at the same time, what is it within you? Is that what you want? And that's why, it's beautiful what you're sharing, because people can relate and they feel like, okay, it's not just me. There's nothing wrong with me.
I like the point that you touched on there, because I always felt my entire life, even as a child, that I was challenging the status quo. I always felt different. I always felt like, no, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it this way. And as a child, you're then told you're a bad girl, or, that's not the right way. You should do it this way. And you're punished if you don't do it a certain way, right? You're a good girl or you're a bad girl. And we're conditioned into that from childhood. And the reason why children act out in that way is because they're not able to freely express themselves. And they're being told to be or do something that they don't want to be or don't want to do.
Because they're not bad, right?
Right. Then it doesn't mean that they're bad. They're also just not emotionally aware enough to actually authentically be themselves in a way that, I don't know, maybe wouldn't get them trouble. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, totally.
It's very different for children. And I always felt that way, I always kind of went against the grain, not in a naughty way. Like I wasn't a rebel, but I just always felt different. So then in this phase of trying to rediscover myself, like I said, I came across life coaching. I read the curriculum. I think I'd only met like one life coach in my life before, but I'd obviously been around a lot of personal trainers and wellness coaches and mentors and things like that. When I read the curriculum, and honestly, Martina, I did not know what I was going to be doing with my life. I kind of in the back of my mind thought I would like to start my own business again and actually have a proper go at it. Just on that note, I actually sold my business through the pandemic, and I don't know how I managed to do that, but I did, and made a profit, and that was an amazing achievement in itself and gave me confidence that I could do it again. Start a business, but do it properly this time. Do it. I had learned a lot from the first one. So when I read the curriculum, I thought, this is amazing. This is exactly what I've been looking for. Excuse my language, how the fuck have I not seen this before? I'm a life coach. This is what I do normally. When your friends or your family come to you and you talk to them and coaching isn't about giving advice. I'll just say that it's not about giving advice or it's not a mental health service either, but it's there to hold space. It's there to ask questions to get people to find the answers within themselves. And I felt like I already did that, in my life. And so I enrolled to study, and in the background, I started kind of doing extra studies, my own sort of research and creating a business, making a web page in the background, an Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Just started really slowly, just kind of building it up. And then the rest is history. There you go, 30 minutes that took for me to get there. The rest is history. Yeah. Any questions?
I love that. I mean, I love it because for me, it's like I'm picturing you throughout the time. I still remember that moment before you discovered your life coaching page.
Yeah.
I believe it was like you were going on this road trip by yourself, and I was
That's
around
right.
that time, and we were talking, how is it going? How's the lockdown at the end? And you were on this search of yourself, and I was very much in the same space, and we were like supporting each other. So it's so beautiful for me to hear that. Like, yeah, I think it's around this time when we talked.
That's
And
so
being,
true. I forgot about that road trip actually, because that was after we came out of the first lockdown in New Zealand, and I was just so desperate to kind of get out. And for me, and I'm sure you can relate to this, travel and being in new places has always been a huge inspiration for me. And obviously we couldn't travel internationally, but I really felt like I needed some of that inspiration in my life at that stage while I was kind of building up this new business. You know, I needed to get away from it all. And again, it's like one of those moments of just like doing nothing or just like not doing work, but doing something that brings you joy and excitement and adventure in order to get ideas. And for me, travel is one of those things. So I literally I just hired a camper van and drove around the North Island in New Zealand by myself for like, I can't remember, 8-10 days or something like that, and met up with people along the way, and it was awesome. And again, it was like almost like another self-discovery journey. I learned so much about myself on that way. On that journey. I brought my journal with me. I jotted down ideas. Like it was great. Yeah, so it was around that time. That's so funny.
Yeah. So let's explore that, because I think you touched a really important point. If people are in the self-discovery journey, like they feel like you were before this, like maybe not even knowing that they get to make the change, they just feel so off. They just feeling drained. This is how I was feeling when I felt lost and I was supposed to make a decision, which I was supposed to make like 4 years ago. But I was so scared because I couldn't see like what else I can do. This is what I've been doing for all those years. I don't know what else to do. And back at the time I lived in England, right? It's like, oh my God, do I come back home? But I don't see myself at home. I don't see myself in the Czech Republic. Like, I always wanted to learn Spanish. Like, do I go to Spain? And what do you do? And all of this total analysis paralysis. I was just going and going and going. And it was the same, just like so contracted. I felt like I was suffocating in my own body. Literally, you put like a bag over my head. And I'm like constant, 24/7, analyzing, just making it bigger, making more stories, more lies, more problems, right? It was just amplifying.
Yeah.
It was like, it was horrendous. So maybe people are in this stage. Maybe people are, oh my gosh, I get to do it. And I don't want to do it because it's the leap, right, into the unknown, this uncertainty. It is so scary. So scary.
Actually, that's a good point for people to
work for you. What would you guide people, or what would you offer to people when they are in this place to take the leap? How did it feel for you? Because for me, it is body. For me, it's body. For me, it's just, it is the gut feeling. It is kind of connecting really as best as I could at that time. It was, I didn't quite work with a coach at that time. Yes. It's like, what is it that I want? What is my vision? Like going back to the vision, but it was very blurry because I didn't really know what I want, which was very similar to what we have touched base a little bit earlier about doing what we think we should be doing. Because before I would be the good girl. I would do what people told me to do, right? Because I wanted to be good. I would be so afraid to be rejected, to be abandoned, to be left alone. So I was literally lost contact with myself totally. And I would be going, there would be an issue, there would be a problem, there would be something, and I would call 10 friends and talk about it. It's like, and give me the answer. Tell me what to do and I will do it. It was just insane, like this connection that I couldn't even hear it. Like, as you said, that came much later. It was for me in nature as well. When I was hiking in Spain doing my pilgrimage, that's for the first time I was like, oh my God, where have you been? And I just, it was, oh my gosh, okay, like getting teary. Like, it was the first, like, incredible, like in the middle of nowhere, suddenly hearing that voice. And I was just like, okay, this is what it feels like, actually. To talk to yourself and to create connection, and that kind of shifted for me things. So what was it for you if people are in the place to take the leap? Because they don't know, we don't know, we don't know anything at the end of the day what's going to be, because we just don't know. So what works for you, what works with your clients?
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to touch on a couple of things that you said there as well. How you said, you know, I would talk to 10 friends and ask everybody for advice. And it's funny, I was literally just listening to Jay Shetty's book, Think Like a Monk, which I highly recommend.
Yeah, I've got this one too.
Yeah, I'm listening to Audible at the moment. And he was saying how important it is to have people in your life for certain to help you through certain obstacles, right? Obviously, you don't choose your things based on obstacles, but what he's meaning is if there is something that's going on in your life that you need help with, choose the right person in your life to actually speak to. The person that actually understands that situation and can help you either give you advice or ask you the right question to draw that answer out of you. Because if you go and ask 10, 15, 20 people, you're going to get a different answer from everybody.
Exactly. Didn't work. It didn't work.
It doesn't work, nor do we take other people's advice as much as we feel in those moments where we're lost. We just want to be told the answer. Very often we actually don't take their advice because we come up with that answer ourselves, and they don't know our whole history and our whole story and our decision-making process and so on and so forth. So it was interesting that you said that, because I was just listening to that yesterday. And I think the same goes with a coach, choosing a coach or a mentor or a therapist or a personal trainer or whoever that you're going to work with. You have to choose the right person for you, for your goals, for your personality. You know, you need to gel with that person because they're on this journey with you. And that's, I guess, why we do consultations or discovery calls, so that you can have that time together to really kind of get to know each other, understand each other a little bit better. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there.
Totally.
Then back to what you're saying, that feeling for me, you know, how did I make that leap or that decision? And firstly, I'll just say I was forced to. In my situation, I didn't have a choice, right? So that's quite different. In my situation, you know, the pandemic happened and my role was made redundant. So it was all out of my control. So there was these huge big leaps happening without my decision, right? Without my choice. But if I had to, and I have had to make choices before where that's not the case, where it has actually been my choice and it has been in my control. And like you, it is an inner knowing, it's a body feeling as well. And I can talk about this in terms of creative block too, because this is something that I experience a lot as a creative being. In fact, we are all creative beings. I just want to say that, whatever end of the spectrum you're on, you know, especially if creativity is looked at as a problem-solving skill, we are all creatives. But when I'm blocked, or when I don't know what decision to make, and I know I need to make a leap, I have to get away from it all. This is my personal experience, and it works really, really well for me. So either I have to get away from it all, not run away, that's not what I'm saying, but like you said, out into nature, somewhere where I feel really calm and inspired and at peace, where there's not too much noise or distraction or stimulus. Like, I don't like being overly stimulated. And I think that's a sensitive, that's being a sensitive being as well, a sensitive person, empathetic person. If there's too much noise or crowded room or whatever, then I can't think.
Yeah,
So
same
it's
here.
really, so it's really stripping all of that away for me, getting out into nature or going on a little road trip or meditating in a quiet space, or even just making my environment look nice, tidying up, putting on a diffuser or maybe lighting some incense or a candle, putting on some calming music or binaural music, whatever it might be, and just really making that environment feel great. And for me, that's what works best in terms of getting me unblocked creatively, or when I have to make decisions, when I have to look within and really kind of talk to myself. Journaling is good, like writing it down, asking yourself a question and sitting with that question, not necessarily answering that question right away. I like to put questions out into the universe. So I might ask a question like, how do I overcome X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
And I don't answer it. I just ask the question. And then I let it kind of just foster for a few days. And then, it starts to develop. It comes to me. Shower moments.
Oh my gosh, I've got always ideas in showers. It's very unblocking, but it's a secretary, but it is like, now you get to do this workshop. This is what it like, shower, 30 minutes. It's like, okay, this is the outline, go on a paper. And like, okay, in 2 days I'm doing workshop.
And I hear so many people, especially people that are creating a lot, it's that being in the water, again, it's a calming moment. You're in the shower, you're just relaxing for a moment. There's nothing else distracting you. Water is a very, very powerful element, and for me, like being near the beach or whatever, it's really, really helpful just hearing the waves, seeing the water. But shower moments, I hear so many people and they're like, oh my God, I get my best ideas when I'm in the shower.
Every single thing, every single workshop I have done, a masterclass happened in the shower.
Yeah.
Every single
funny. Yeah. So I guess my what I would say to anybody that is really feeling blocked or stuck or lost, my number one, I'm using the word advice now when I said I don't give advice, but my number one thing would be self-care. Invitation. My number one thing would be self-care, and that's all to do with self-care. Everything that I just said there is really taking care of yourself. Getting yourself away from the noise, the distraction, the busyness, going for a walk, relaxing, maybe doing having a little spa day at home, whatever it might be, to take care of yourself and be able to hear yourself is number one for me. And then number two would be to do with the people that are in your life, because we are a product of the 5 people that we spend the most time with, and that's not including children, like any parents out there. It's your partner or your best friend or your parents or whoever it might be that you're soaking their energy in as well. So if you're around people that are energy takers rather than energy givers, and they're maybe pessimistic or whatever it might be. And look, sometimes we can't just like get rid of people in our lives, right? Like they're in our family or whatever. But it's a matter of recognizing that and spending, if you can, spending less time with those energy takers and spending more time with those energy givers, and really surrounding yourself with people that are high vibe and that inspire you and that you trust. That is a big one, that you really trust with sharing information with. And like we said before, like you said, Martina, when you're in a situation where you need help, you choose the right people to actually go to and talk to. So that would be my number 2 thing would be to just surround yourself with people.
That all really resonates for me. It's like journaling. Sometimes I'm in the feeling and I can't even speak it out. I can't quite, but as soon as I started to put on a paper, I was like, ooh, I didn't know that was there. So then it starts to come out. And with the feeling for me, and this is really invitation for our listeners, really to tune in again back to your body, back to your feeling. How does it feel in your body? Whatever the thing is that you get to take the leap towards, let's say, Does
Yeah.
it feel contracting or expanding?
Mm.
This is for me. I can literally feel it. I recently, a few weeks ago, let's say, I made a decision, which it's not a bad decision. Let's put it this way. It's not a bad decision, but it impacts my life for some period of time. It's great. In a way, it is great. But at that moment, I knew I didn't want to do it. But I was in a place where I couldn't quite handle myself in the moment and to say no. But I am so grateful. I am so grateful because because I'm all about vision, vision, connect to your vision, go deeper on your vision. Because this allowed me, first of all, to keep my commitments, great opportunity, and reinvent myself just to make it work. I thought, whatever, I made a choice. But what I'm saying is that I can feel what happens, what are the prices I am paying when I make choices, or it was a decision, really, this one, when not in alignment with my vision, because I can do it. And there was such a huge gift out of the situation, looking at it like I can do it, because we are all, especially people who have the people pleaser tendencies. I'm totally recovering people pleaser, totally.
And I work those.
Yeah, totally. And it's a big deal saying no. I know I was in a place where I said already 4 times no, and I just couldn't handle it within myself. Just I cannot say no again. And I just said yes, even though in a moment I knew I didn't want to do it. And it was, and then I'm so grateful because it literally, I get it. I get it, why vision is so important. What does that look like? What is the life I want to live? What does that look like? And the prices I'm paying, let's put it this way, or the impact of the decision is that it doesn't align with my vision. I can do it. It doesn't harm me. It's not, I am making still impact. I am still contributing towards something bigger than me. And I can feel it when it's a yes, which is out of alignment, which is not with my vision. And this is my invitation to people, just whatever you get to say yes to, does it align with your vision? If you don't have a vision, connect to your vision, journal. What does your dream day look like? What is important to you? What are your values and all that? Because I know the result out of it. It's I don't want to live this, actually. And I'm so grateful that I can feel it. I am a feeler. I get to feel things for me to actually click and get them and understand them. And then from now,
that up as well. If we're not naturally like that, we can become more in tune, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Because now from here, I was able to say more no's.
And that's boundaries as well. Boundaries.
Absolutely. There were boundaries, and I could say more no's because I was so aligned with me. And I was I can do it. Yes, I can do it. But it doesn't align with my vision. This is not my vision. So thank you for this opportunity. And I keep going. And it gives me so much peace with saying no, because not always it's easy for some. And I feel all of those people who are finding themselves saying no. So,
and you touched on a really important piece there as well, because in the beginning you said, you made this decision, and was it the wrong decision? Was it not the wrong decision? And I just want to mention in that, I don't think any decision really is a wrong decision, because even if it doesn't work out the way that you had planned, or you think you failed, there is a learning opportunity in that. And it happened for a reason, for you to learn something, or to meet somebody, or whatever it might be. And you yourself said there, even though it didn't feel right, you're grateful, and and then it helped you realize when it does feel right. So there was that learning opportunity there. And I think also it's a trust in what is meant for us will not pass us by. Even these things that when you look back and you think, God, that was awful. Oh my God, that was challenging. That was tough. That was so hard. It was meant for you in some way, whether it was to build up your resilience, or, to know yourself better, whatever it might be. What is meant for you will not pass you by. And that's the good things as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This has been huge. It's been total gift. So it's just like really feel, as Lara said earlier, like ask the question, right?
Mm,
However you want to ask it, just put the question out there and just feel
yeah.
into your body. Just
Mm,
feel. Does it feel expanding? Is it
yeah.
like a full body yes, and you're just afraid because it's unknown? Or is it
Mm,
literally you can feel the contraction within yourself? You can just
yeah.
feel the glitches. And the more you practice, it's a muscle, right? It's
Mm,
like you get to practice it. The more you're tuning in,
yeah.
then you will be able to connect with yourself. And
Mm,
with that, like it is like connecting to your intuition, right? I watched this masterclass and the girl said there was just this question again when you are about to make decision on something and you're having this guidance, and I was like, well, is it my gut, is it my head, how do I know what is right?
yeah.
And it's just the same asking the question, is it for me or is it from me? Which is like if
I
you
like that. Yeah.
feel it from
Mhm.
me, like it's from your head, it's from your head, but is it for me, that's you receiving the guidance. And
Yes.
I
Love.
love that. And I've been kind of using that, and I'm like, it's always, and when I'm in my head, I feel it. I feel it tight. I feel my neck kind of sore,
Mm,
and it
mm.
comes like from me. And I was like, okay, not today, not
Yeah.
today.
And I think also it's in terms of, decision making, letting go of what's right and what's wrong.
Totally.
It's like who says what's right and what's wrong.
Exactly.
Like like you're mentioning there, you can feel it in your body if it's right for you or not right for you. Don't worry about what other people might say or think, or the what society says. I mean, I know that's easier said than done. We're conditioned in that sense, and you really have to push yourself outside of that conditioning
Mm-hmm.
and look within and question maybe some beliefs that you have that actually aren't your beliefs. Where do they come from? Do they come from your parents? Where do they come from? Do you actually believe that? And it's a matter of kind of reprogramming, isn't it? Which we can do. We are in control of that
Yeah.
reprogramming, which is great news. We can
Totally.
all do that.
Totally.
And uh, and getting more in tune with ourselves and our gut feeling, our intuition, our inner knowing, that is really a great gift. If you can work on that more. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Well, Lara, let's wrap it up in here. I think this is a beautiful dot.
Mm-hmm.
And before we go, what would be your message? Like the last message is something you want to reiterate, something to stand out. If people just feel just stuck, and they don't
Mm-hmm.
really know where to go, they feel a little bit lost. They just don't know, or they're afraid. What would be one sentence kind of
Mm.
mantra kind of thing?
Oh, wow. You kind of actually mentioned this before,
Mm-hmm.
as well, is it's asking yourself the question, at what cost? You know, what is this costing me staying where I am? Okay, yeah, I'm comfortable, but am I really?
Yeah.
How much pain is this actually causing me staying how I am? And yes, it's scary pushing outside our comfort zone and the unknown, but what might be on that other side might take away this pain that I'm feeling being stuck here. So at what cost, I think, is a great question to ask
Totally.
yourself when you're afraid to move on from something. What is it costing me staying here? And what might be the benefits of me moving on, and just really asking yourself those questions. And then, like I said before, number one, self-care. Self-care. Because without self-care, then we will continue to feel overwhelmed and stressed and pressured and people pleasing or whatever.
Yeah.
You have to take care of yourself. You are just as worthy as the next person. And we're in this kind of epidemic right now where people just don't have that self-love and self-worth, and it's a lot to do with social media and comparisons and that toxicity that's out there, that's really pulled us away from just ourselves. And self-care, number one. Whatever that means for you, like we've mentioned quite a few good tips in this
Yeah.
line.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for that. That has been the question that actually has shifted my things around. What are the
Mhm.
prices you're paying for staying where you
Yeah,
are? And it was added
exactly.
by what are the prices others are paying.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
suddenly I never thought about that before. And I'm
Yes, yeah,
like,
that's true. It is a knock-on effect, right? So who
and
else
that
around
was
you
a
is
that was
affected?
like a alarm, wake up Martina, let's do this.
Yeah,
And I could start
definitely.
taking action.
And this is actually an exact conversation I had with a client of mine who has children. And it's not just about children, it's anybody that is around you. And, you know, we would talk about that, you know, how is this affecting your children, everyone around you? Like, you know, the better you feel, the happier you feel, the more fulfilled you are, the more relaxed you are. Imagine how that's going to make everybody else
Yeah.
feel. And then the opposite is true as well, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yes, and there's just one more thing I'd like to mention before we close off this live. And you know, we've been talking a lot about creativity and connecting to our creativity in our conversations here. And I know you're a very creative being, and you know, you do your vision board workshop, and I love that. And you know, this really got me out of a big funk. Was connecting back to my creative power and my creative soul, and just doing things that I really love doing. So I have a new group program out at the moment for women. It's a 6-week group program called Creative Power. And we actually dive into a lot of the things that we were talking about today, Martina, like you know, facing your ghosts, bringing up those beliefs, reprogramming, you know, tapping into our creative mindset, and how we can really connect with our vision, stop living on autopilot, and just create the life that you truly want and really align with yourself. So I just wanted to mention that for anyone else that might be watching is out there, and that's available.
Thank you. And where they can find you? What is the best place for you, for our listeners, to really continue the relationship with you?
I am most active on Instagram, so at Lara Franks Coaching. I do also have Facebook, which is the same, Lara Franks Coaching, and my website is the same, larafrankscoaching.com. But I am most active on Instagram, and if you have any questions that you'd like to ask me about anything, I'm always happy to connect and chat. Or if there's any questions you have about the Creative Power Group program as well, I'm there for you.
Sounds great. Awesome. So thank you so much. Thank you for getting up and early from New Zealand. And I get to go to sleep soon. You get to start your day. I love this. Thank you. Thank you, Internet.
So yeah.
I love this. I love this. So thank you so much.
And thank you. It's and nice to have a conversation.
Yes, I love this. And I was just connecting. Oh, well, I know we were talking here. Where is she on this journey as you are telling your journey?
And actually, this picture behind me,
yeah,
as you know, we were talking about the road trip. That's a double rainbow that I saw in Raglan, which is a beautiful place up north. When I was on that road trip in my van by myself, and to me, that double rainbow was a sign. That was a sign of it's okay. I'm on the right path.
Yes, you are.
And you know, I think signs are beautiful things if you connect to that out of the messages from the universe or whatever.
I totally do. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.
You too.
Thank you for listening, listeners. Tune in next week.
See ya.
See ya.